starting with the big breaking news we're tracking. Terrorist organization Al-Qaeda celebrates Taliban's victory in Afghanistan. The terror outfit has released a two-page statement hailing US exit from the war-torn nation. In the statement, Al-Qaeda has also called for liberation of Kashmir. Quickly bringing in my colleague Gursimran, who's joining us with more details to take us through this two-page statement that has been released by the terror outfit Al-Qaeda. And before I go across to Gursimran, let me go across to Major General S.P. Sinha. Major General Sinha, this is exactly what we were talking about all this while. The same terror group responsible for 9/11 has started showing its presence in Afghanistan and now releasing a statement officially praising the Taliban, talking about quote-unquote liberation of Kashmir, sir.
Firstly, when agreement was signed, Doha agreement was signed between America and Taliban on 29th February 2020, the basic premise on which Mr. Trump signed this agreement was that Taliban should give assurance that they will break the relationship with Al-Qaeda, to which Taliban said yes. But what happened? February 2020, and America vacates Afghanistan in August. So 8 months plus about 10 months, 18 months are gone. And Al-Qaeda, the Taliban has never delivered. They have not honored that agreement and commitment. So that's one. Secondly, we all know that ISI has close contacts with Al-Qaeda. Why I'm saying so? Because ISI and Pakistan army gave safe haven, safe shelter to Osama bin Laden, and kept lying that Osama bin Laden is not in Pakistan. So this shows the connection between Al-Qaeda, Pakistan Army and ISI. Now thirdly, at the behest of Pakistan Army and ISI, because Taliban is not playing game. So the other alternate route which Pakistan Army has taken, that it has tapped Al-Qaeda. That you kindly make this statement. Fourthly, I would like to comment that Pakistan can try all stunts. Pakistan can get hold of all jihadi organizations in the world, contact all 57 Muslim countries, and send them to J&K. We have nothing to worry about. We know how to treat, what treatment to be given to these jihadis. We know that. The life of a jihadi may have any tag. He may be Pakistani, he may be Afghani, he may be Talibani, he can be anybody. For us, he's a terrorist and he needs to be killed. That's it, as simple as that. Pakistan can keep sending from any other country.
Yes,
let
absolutely.
Let Pakistan muster all the terrorists and direct them to Jammu and Kashmir. We'll be too glad to ensure that the world becomes free from these terrorists. We'll do this job on behalf of the civilization. We will do it. And the Indian Army knows how to deliver this. So nothing to worry. Al-Qaeda can try stunt. No problem.
Absolutely. General S.P. Sinha, you know, it's all clear. It's for everyone to see. This is exactly why Pakistan, you know, has been backing Taliban. Eventually, what their ultimate goal is to take the arrangement back to what it was in the 1990s when several armed terror groups were freely operating in and out of Afghanistan. So, you know, they have the FATF neck hanging on the FATF sword hanging on their neck, I beg your pardon. So this is a safe escape for them. This is exactly what they're doing, but their plot stands exposed, sir.
Strategy on the part of Pakistan in order to get out from the grey list of FATF, Pakistan wants to play a game. And the game is shift Lashkar-e-Tauba, HM and JM to Afghanistan. And you say to FATF that I have thrown out these terrorists from the soil of Pakistan. So I'm not to be blamed. I have taken a strong action. Now remove me from this list. So in both the hands she has Laddu. He will try to get out of FATF and still provide safe haven to these JEM, Hafiz Saeed and HM, and try to achieve his aim, Pakistan's aim of sending these terrorists to through POK to Jammu and Kashmir. So that is a well-crafted strategy, but nothing to worry. We will sort out Pakistan. But let me tell you, I am not able to understand the role of United Nations. when the United Nations knows that Hafiz Saeed is roaming around freely in Pakistan, and United Nations has declared Hafiz Saeed is a global terrorist, what action United Nations has taken against Pakistan? What action? Except for FATF. And that too, Pakistan has not been put into blacklist. What action United Nations has taken? It has become distrust. Can't it see what is happening in Pakistan? Can't it see? To a common man like us, it is very evident what game Pakistan is playing. To United Nations, it is not clear. The highest authority or highest organization in the world, which is supposed to maintain peace and order and tranquility in the world, is not able to understand the chess game of Pakistan. It's a matter of shame. It is a matter of shame. And with regard to Afghanistan, why haven't they sent United Nations peacekeeping force in Kabul? Why not? Why they have not landed? So it is a terrible thing. It is. I fail to understand. Are these officers serving United Nations only supposed to sit in AC and have coffee and biscuit? Or are they supposed... You yourself, therefore, yesterday or maybe yesterday showed a video where Afghani women are pleading to President Biden, help us, save us. The ladies themselves are appealing to President Biden. United Nations is not able to hear all this voice.
Yes.
These voices going on deaf ears. It's a matter of shame. It's a matter of shame. If this is the way United Nations functions, then the world does not require United Nations. I'm convinced Second World War, because wars became evident, came into existence because of failure of League of Nations. Similarly, if Third World War happens, it will be because of failure of
General S.P. Sinha, it's clear that more needs to be done, and at the earliest, because what we're seeing can turn out to be extremely dangerous, not just in Afghanistan, but across the world. Let me go across to Colonel Dinesh Nayan joining us this morning. Appreciate you speaking to us, Colonel. Colonel Dinesh, you have the Al-Qaeda already making its presence felt in Afghanistan. Aminul Haq was spotted in Nangarhar yesterday. We put out those visuals. Now Al-Qaeda taking out the statement, a two-page statement congratulating Taliban. There has been widespread fear of how what's happening in Afghanistan is going to provide inspiration to several of those radical Islamist groups, and that's exactly what's happening. They are looking at this as an opportunity, sir.
You are right. We all saw that Osama bin Laden's security officer had reached Nangarhar, and he was, really welcomed by the Taliban people over there. And now the other situation developing is that the fight which is going at Panjshir area, probably Taliban wants that Al-Qaeda should take it on and they should be fighting out over there. So everybody is trying to make a space in this khichdi which is taking place in Afghanistan. Because the time has come now when everybody wants to establish themselves into the government also. Now, yesterday only the news had come that one more terrorist group has been formed in Afghanistan called Tehreek-e-Taliban Emirates. That basically constitutes your Sijaruddin Haqqani's group with Khalil Haqqani and Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. They are trying to make one group. So everybody was trying to, position themselves in Afghanistan. Well, in wake of that, Al-Qaeda had congratulated Taliban once Americans left, and now they are trying to find their space also. Had included name of Kashmir into their statement that probably these are the places which are need to be liberated or something like that. Yes, we have this threat now from all these people. We have to prepare much better than what we are. And what I personally feel is that the situation is further going to clear up in another week's time or so, when I speculate there is going to be a fight between these groups themselves to establish their supremacy in Afghanistan. So Al-Qaeda, Tehreek-e-Taliban Emirates, or you can say the leaders of various tribes and warlords with Panjshir from one on the other angle, within Taliban, various groups forming. They are trying to call Haqqani group, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed as outsiders. You have nothing to do here. That kind of a feeling is developing. So we are going to see a lot of mess coming up in another week's time.
Yes. Yes. Because Colonel Nain, Taliban that has claimed that it will not shelter any of those terror organizations is already sheltering, the likes of Al-Qaeda, Haqqani network, and of course ISIS-K as well, of what we've seen on ground. Thank you, Colonel Nain, and also General Sinha. Appreciate you, gentlemen, joining us this morning. Quickly bringing in my colleague Gursimran, who will once again, for our viewers, break down the details of the statement that has been put out by Al-Qaeda. Because Gursimran, apart from what's happening in Afghanistan, they've also called for liberation of Kashmir.
Yes, indeed. And if we go by this statement, the two-page statement that has been issued by As-Sahab, which is a digital arm of this terror outfit, Al-Qaeda. So they clearly have called for liberation of Kashmir as well as several other nations. But important thing is that we have to see that the Taliban's victory in Afghanistan has given these terror outfits an additional edge, and they now feel that they can go to any extent to carry out any major terror strike, to get hold of any place they want, and that's why they have called for liberation of Kashmir, because this has been really a greatest of all concerns, that this victory will energize the terrorist group active across South Asia. And we have seen that the meeting that has taken place between Jaish-e-Mohammed and Taliban, and now Al-Qaeda coming into the game, this is something of a really serious concern for the security forces, as well as the coming months are going to be really challenging for the security forces, because we know that Al-Qaeda, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba, they all have one motto, which is the prime motto of Pakistan, that is to disrupt peace and to and not only this, but also the balkanization of India is their agenda. So they will try to go forward for their agenda, but now we have to see how the things pan out, because yesterday we have seen how India has
and Gursimran, sooner or later this had to be happening, isn't it? Al-Qaeda, all praises for Taliban, is something that's certainly not surprising given what we're seeing in Afghanistan and what the history has revealed also. Thank you for sharing all those details. For the moment, we slip into a short break.